Welcome to the Build Insight podcast. Real people, real insights. Step into the world of innovative construction, one conversation at a time.
Today's episode is part 2 of our chat with Emile from SV Built. If you missed part 1, make sure you head back to last week's episode and catch up on those insights. Otherwise, enjoy the episode.
That's good to get the background on SV Built. I want to move into, because this is always a hot topic that everyone wants to know about, the reality of running a building business. So there's, it can look very glamorous on social media and the glossy magazines and the awards, but truth is, running a business can feel very isolated, particularly if you don't have the right people to turn to, which it sounds like, fortunately, you do have a few good ones, but either way, the pressure can really get to you. Lack of guidance, learning through your mistakes, things like that. What point did you realize, or was there a point that you felt really lonely in it? Some of the biggest struggles that you faced, any moments that you thought this might not work, or?
Oh, you always question. I think every builder questions why the hell they're doing it sometimes. It definitely, being a builder has been a lonely space for a long time. I was lucky I had my dad to bounce a lot of ideas of business off of him. And even construction, he's a toolmaker by trade, so his attention to detail is unbelievable.
Yep.
I'll walk through what I think is a 99% finish, and he'll still pick things.
Not just because he's your dad.
Yeah, no, he just sees things at another level. So he's been great to have. I always send him in for the final check sometimes.
Yeah, nice.
Not anymore, but back in the day, it was great having another set of eyes running through.
Yep.
But yeah, I used to bounce a lot of business ideas off of him. But they were old school ways of running business. I'd say the business space is very different. And when I hear all the stories, I grew up as a kid with him running businesses, and they went through all the ups and downs of nearly losing the house and all that sort of stuff when I was a little kid. He worked out of the back office of our house for ages, and I used to really look up to that way of doing business back then. It was all relationships. It was slower paced. You sort of fax and phone calls, or go overseas and make a relationship kind of thing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, these days, I found that builders stayed very separated. So there was no one to really. I kind of just winged it for the first 7 or 8 years. I was winging being a builder. Yep. I hadn't worked for a builder really. I hadn't sort of seen how other builders operate. So you make all those mistakes. You have many of years where you're like, shit, I didn't make money. What did I do wrong? But then, like you said, with support, I think probably a couple of years ago, I had a couple of jobs fall off, which gave me a little bit of time, and it made me think, maybe I need to rethink how I sort of run the business a bit, and not so much how I structured it and treated clients or anything like that. It was more so I was pretty horrible with the marketing, and so I had no marketing. Those previous 7 or 8 years was purely word of mouth.
Yep.
But the social media marketing race really started to heat up over the last 3-4 years. So I realized, shit, I really got to do something here, just to keep up. And then, that sort of just constantly opened doors of, I didn't really realize there was building coaching out there and all that sort of stuff. So I started looking around. There was a lot of them that, I didn't feel comfortable with, to be honest. They're sort of very salesy and... but then somehow, I can't remember how, I got onto Kyle Zanetto, who started up the Future Builder Network. And it was just a very natural, it's kind of we're here to help. We're sort of building a community.
Yep.
Just to support each other, which I found is, it's great.
Just very relatable, coming direct from another builder.
Yeah. And it, even if you don't get heaps out of it, it's just speaking to other people in a similar position to you. It's oh shit, we're not doing it. I'm not on my own, sort of thing. A lot of people have the same problems and issues that I have.
Because it's still, I'd say it's still a competitive market, but it doesn't always have to be a competition. In the early days of what, I kind of picked up what you were saying, and I felt that in the very early days of me running the business as well, is you'd see another builder in the hardware store or whatever, and you'd almost look at them like they're competition. It's I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I did reach out to a couple of builders back in the day, whether, for just different reasons, we had a site near each other or something along those lines.
Yep.
It wasn't very successful. You don't really, I think everyone in Adelaide did see each other as competition. And I suppose that's what's great about the Future Builder Society as well, is like it's countrywide. And everyone's a very similar style builder as well.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of different genres and everything, but
Yep.
size-wise, I suppose everyone's reasonably similar.
Yep.
And I suppose when they interstate, you feel like you can maybe talk a bit more freely.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. It's been good though.
Yeah. Anything in the very early days that, like when you maybe had a few of those moments where, this might not work or whatever, anything in particular that helped you get through?
I think I'm just always a pretty positive person. So I suppose you definitely have some stressful moments. You definitely have like early days. I remember you sit down with the accountant and look at this previous years and you go, holy crap, like what?
And
that was a lot of work.
They're trying to tell you on paper that you've made money and you're like, where the fuck is it?
Yeah. So you have a lot of those moments, but you're just like, right, I know what didn't work now for that previous year.
Yeah.
How do I improve that so it doesn't happen again next year kind of thing?
Yeah.
And I've put a lot of effort into being able to diagnose that earlier. Like early days it was always 12 months. It was always a 12-month shift. Like, how do I fix something in the business? And then it's another 12 months to see if that actually worked.
Yeah.
Whereas now I put a lot of effort into how do I check how the business going is more on a weekly, monthly basis to make quicker changes. And
Yeah.
For over 130 years, Bowen's has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
We're proud to announce Ellens as our new premier sponsor, bringing you more of the insights that you love. Build insight together with Ellens.
Real people,
Real insights.
Just want to quickly circle back to the SV built journey. Actually, I forgot to ask, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the support. What is the SV built team? Like, do you have someone in-house that helps with accounting, that sort of stuff? Like, you've got chippies on site. Like, what's the SV built team look like?
yeah, so the team's basically made up of myself and Aaron's my supervisor. So he's been with me for, I should know, I think it's close to 7 years now. So he was early days. He was just like a second me. We just did everything together until we sort of like were comfortable with leaving each other to do their own thing, sort of thing. And now he just takes care of most of the on-site stuff. I do all the construction management, admin, and all that sort of stuff in the office, dealing with the clients, all the design and construct side of things. I still find myself on site a lot, which I shouldn't do.
Yeah. Do you guys do anything on the tools at all?
Yeah, like we both carry around a full set of tools pretty much. I try to definitely stay away from being on the tools just because I just don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still do. Like, we don't take on massive jobs, but like you would have saw, we were doing some concrete in the other day and bits and pieces that, if we do have the time and something just needs doing, we just get it done.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we got Hayley, who she works for us a bit more than 1 day a week, 1 day in the office and then maybe 1.5 days externally. She does all our interior design, helps me out on the business side of things as well.
Yep.
A bit of admin. And I think we do need to bring some sort of bookkeeping back in house. I'm sort of at that stage where we did have Mandy, who worked for us full time up until last year. She retired and she took care of like all the admin, bookwork, accounts, interior design, and everything. So we're just transitioning now.
Yeah. Is there? We'll sort of segue into. Still, don't go too far from the business coaching and the networking, but there's, I guess, the tech side of it that's available for builders now as well, is making it a lot easier for, say, for example, if it was just you that was doing all of it. Some of the software that's available to be able to pre-read invoices and allocate to jobs and all that sort of stuff. That's like, is there anything that you want to touch on in particular that's really helped you out? That's
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the tech out there now is unbelievable. As you know, I've just transferred over to Wonderbuild for our project management software. Yeah, and that's so powerful. Couple of years ago, I transferred over to Xero and used Dex for our automated receipting of invoices and everything, and that was yeah. I mean, that saved. Oh, that would have
Hours.
saved. Yeah, like a full day, maybe even 2 a week.
Whoa.
Admin work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
unbelievable.
Yep. Yep.
I wish I discovered it earlier, to be honest. But
Yep. And the expense of the, Dext and Xero per week versus 2 days of a full-time employee or part-time employee, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, and
isn't
I
it?
mean, we had like a full file room that was just full of like our jobs and paperwork and everything, and now we're just 100% paperless.
Yep.
Everything's easy to find. It's easy to report. Like going back to making quick changes in the business is so much easier now. You're not sort of trying to find where all those documents went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Have you got any form of digital, like on site, like any form of link? As an example, we use Google Drive for a lot of it. Well, you can actually do, shout out to Wonderbuild as well. Wonderbuild, you can do it as well in the document section. We originally had maybe like a project file set up in Google Drive that we would put a QR code on site that all of the latest plans, all the latest species, everything would get put in there. If a trade rocked up, they didn't have it, they could scan the QR code. We're just building that system out now in Wonderbuild as well. In the document section, again, you can create a QR code from it so that anyone can just grab the latest resources as they need. Have you utilised anything like that yet?
Yeah, we've been running the QR codes for a good few years now. I did that, like you said, in Google Drive.
Yep.
I just had a little add-on that would create the QR codes, and then would print out a massive sheet, and we'd separate it into relevant trades. So each trade had their own QR code that had the documents that they needed, which was great. I mean, we still had sets of plans on site and emailed all that, but it was just a great referral. But yeah, we're pretty new to Wonderbuild, and I do know about being able to do that. And we definitely, I think Wonderbuild are actually bringing in more document sort of management into their software.
Yeah,
so I think
pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, in the future, it's going to be quite cool just being able to auto-generate all that.
Yep.
Which would be great.
Yeah, for sure. Was there, before you came across Future Builder, was there any other form of business coaching that you did previously? Or Future Builder was kind of the first one?
Future Builder was the first one. I mean, I've only been with them for maybe 6 or 7 months now.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, prior to that, I only discovered this whole landscape maybe only like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I was just looking around, and once you look at something, it pops up on your phone all the time.
The next thing you click up, there's another one.
And they sounded good. I reached out to a couple, but I didn't feel comfortable. And yeah, like I said, it wasn't until I sort of had a chat to Kyle that I thought, he's got something here. It's a bit different to all the others.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you've learnt from there that's been like a huge mindset shift for you, or any of the major things that you've taken out of it so far that you've implemented that you're like, wow, without this system beforehand, I don't know how we were doing that. Like I couldn't live without it now.
Yeah, a lot of the systems and documents and how people run those documents, we've slowly implemented into our business. Like I said, you don't know what you don't know, and I didn't know some of this stuff beforehand. So it's great learning how other people do certain aspects of their business, and the fact that everyone is quite open and they share on that platform it's easy to just like grab a few templates of some other guys. And make it your own and implement it straight away. It's not the whole, I got to spend a week to build this out from scratch kind of thing. Which is good.
And it is the power of like sharing everything as well. I've noticed a huge shift probably over the last, whether I was going to say 2 or 3 years, but whether it's 5 years as well. It's just the pace that the building industry is moving nowadays, that if you're not continually looking for that next thing or investing in something like business coaching and continually developing and improving your own systems and processes that you're doing, far out, you're going to get left behind very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the bit I struggle with these days, is just how fast-paced running a construction business is. Like you said, you can get left behind pretty quick.
The fuel prices might be going out of control. That's why our first ever Build Insight live event is free.
Our first ever live event. We're collaborating with Bowens and Circa. We're going to be at Port Melbourne Thursday, the 23rd of April from 2 to 5 p.m.
We're going to be recording live podcasts with Q&A from the audience.
Industry-leading suppliers with innovative building products.
The latest building tech, we'll have it there.
Tactical insights that you can apply immediately to your business.
Build Insight was built on networking. We're going to create the space for everyone to connect.
I've got to stress, this is a free event, but spots are limited, so don't miss out.
Which is scary, isn't it? Because the risk and liability that a builder takes on,
Yeah.
we don't get paid enough, do we?
No, it's harder now than it ever has been. It was easy when I started. It's not easy, so in comparison,
We'll make sure we keep
feels
that
easy.
snippet.
Yeah, I just find it so much harder running a business in today's day and age. Everything is so quick. The reaction to or the results of whatever you do, like appears straight away, kind of thing. And there's a lot of good businesses out there now.
Yep.
A lot of good builders that are building great little businesses.
Yep. The resources that are available, everyone else is progressing.
You almost don't have
quickly as
excuse not to build a good business these days.
Yep.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I don't. I wish I knew about it earlier, and I wish I had this help when I started. God, it would have saved so many years of trial and error.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, though, I think there's a lot of the major things that will really help you develop is learning from those mistakes. I think you have to make mistakes.
100%, and I wouldn't change our journey for anything because we wouldn't be here if we didn't go through that.
Yeah.
And sometimes still finding a solution yourself or solving a problem yourself is when you learn the most. It's easy to grab someone else's solution or get someone else to solve the problem for you. But unless you've done that, you don't learn as well, I don't think.
Yep.
So I think, that learning period of the first 5 years was massive. I felt like all I was just intaking information.
Yeah,
and
it's a giant
and
sponge.
problem solving and
A sponge and a pinboard.
Still to this day, and especially with business, there's so much to learn as well. So it doesn't stop. And now we've pivoted. We're not pivoted the business, but we've always been set on 100% high quality workmanship and client relationship. And now in the last probably 2 or 3 years, we've gone down the journey of sort of sustainable building, high performance building, healthy building. That just adds another complexity and aspect to it. So.
Yep. Good segue, actually. Let's dive into that a little bit. I know we've had a few chats about sort of your thoughts on it, what you want to start implementing. You've done the Passive House Tradesperson's course and things like that. With your style of homes as well, I think is something that getting that type of client to understand the benefits of it. I guess the main thing for the builder comes down to how you educate your client on it, but then getting to understand the value in it. Where are you guys at the moment? What are you trying to implement? Whether it's just one thing on each job you're trying to get better. How are you going about that approach?
Yeah, a bit of all that. Like, you definitely need to feel out the client on what their priorities are in the job right from the start. I mean, if comfort and thermal performance is brought up early days, you know that's a direction you can head with them and they'll really benefit from it. You've still got the clients that just want the biggest house or the flashiest house and all that sort of stuff. So we still weave in some aspects into all our jobs and we're sort of bringing them to almost a non-negotiable level. Quality wise, we've had non-negotiable for years. Like we all use glulam or LVL engineered timber for all our framing and a lot of different that's how we build. You come to us for that sort of level of construction. So we're adding a lot of thermal performance sort of aspects into it now that sort of are good for both parties. The client gets a well weatherproof, sealed up house. We have the peace of mind knowing that we have that added layer of protection to the house as well. And I mean, building a house should be houses should stand for 100 years. So
Absolutely.
We've always built to go, all right, this needs to stand for 100 years. How do we do it properly? Use the right fixings, use the right, we do a lot in the western suburbs. So everything's stainless steel or minimum hot dip galvanized kind of thing. So
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to be getting any callbacks, in particularly the first few years, or really you don't want any callbacks at all, I suppose. So it's more that's what's going to cost your business even more, is having to go back and fix issues, to just do it right from the start and make sure that
we don't want any callbacks.
It's an insurance policy for you guys at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we don't want any callbacks. That's number one. Like, we tell the clients, like, we're trying to get 100% for you now. We don't want you calling us in 6 months to say, I got a roof leak or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, touch and wood, we haven't had in the 11 years, we've never had a major callback on anything. So we put a lot of effort into that. But I don't think I answered your question anyway. I don't know what else to...
I can't remember what the question was now. It was more about, it was just about, obviously you've done the Passive House tradesperson's course. It was just like what's your vision for the future? Do you want to build a passive house, or you just like the concept of it, or?
Going through learning Passive House was one of those things you can't unlearn. You sort of, I knew there was issues with how we build in Australia, but it sort of just brought to light a lot of areas we can build better here. And I mean, I came out of that course with probably the biggest mind shift I've had in 10 years.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And
in what way?
Just how important it is to sort of build better. Like,
And
I
understand
knew we built,
what you're building.
Yeah, understand. And I learned as well how, yes, we have a building code, minimum standard, energy efficient targets to meet, but the way a passive house not only gets modeled, but then gets checked and certified at the end is kind of, we should be doing that more anyway. But our building should be tested and certified at the end of the day to say that, they do perform and they have been built as designed and intended. I think that's where a lot is lacking in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's one thing with that actually is, for a builder that actually cares about what they build, you might have your own checklists and points that you guys will go out and do your own inspections on, which I think is a great thing to do. And then whether you provide that documentation to your client at the end of it as well. But even just the minimum mandatory inspections that a council will come out and do. I think I was telling you on Saturday, like, we've got 2 projects at the moment that one is, I'm talking like, it's a pretty big, like 180 square metre addition, versus the other project is only like a little 30 square metre addition to a bedroom and a bathroom. The big project, the only mandatory notifications that somehow have been put into Plan SA is commencement of building on site and completion of building. Yet the tiny little project has got commencement, concrete footings, timber framing, external cladding, waterproofing, statement of compliance, and then completion. It's like, how does such a small job like that, to me, looks like that should be the minimum amount that would be on every project. It's just that I don't know how you get any consistency with how each project varies so much. And I've had instances before where we had another one where it was quite a large addition. The project was submitted by whoever to Plan SA, and the only notification they got, the actual project got put in as a partial demolition. That was it.
Yeah, right.
That was all they had for the whole project. So we called up and questioned it, and they basically come back and go, well, once it's in Plan SA, we can't change it. So you just submit the notification or whatever's on your system, whatever you guys have got to do, and that's it. So we'll still follow up and send the local council what we feel is the mandatory notifications anyway. So, hey, just letting you know, here's the development number, we've completed concrete footings, or we've completed timber framing, here's our supervisor's checklist. They reply back and go, well, it's not on our system, it doesn't need an inspection, but at least we're covering ourselves knowing that they should be there. It's just, I don't know how we get more consistency out of it. Like, this system that's been implemented to try and create more of a level playing field, keep the councils more accountable. It's just, there's so many downfalls to it still.
We are absolutely thrilled to announce that Circus Studio are coming on board as a major sponsor and supporter of Build Insight. Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne. This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
Yeah, it's interesting why there's different notifications. It was different council areas or?
Different council areas, but even still, I wouldn't have thought that
Yeah,
because
I thought
it
it'd be
gets
set by Plan SA, but I'm not sure.
the designer or whoever that submits it into Plan SA, and I know this varies, but we've got like listeners all around the country. We're talking specifically about South Australia here, but how it varies so much because everything gets submitted to Plan SA and then divvied to the council.
Yeah, I don't know. It does my head in every
Sorry,
time.
it wasn't
I
really a
think about it.
question for you. It was just going on a rant there. but-
Yeah, no. I mean, we have so many frustrations with the whole process and council, and I mean they're under resourced. They've
Yeah.
lost a lot of their experienced people, and sort of, yeah, it's a frustrating. That's another whole podcast, I suppose.
We'll get you back on for a builders panel chat about that one day. Yeah. All right. Well, I won't. We'll move towards the end of it, mate, because I know you've got a very busy day today as well. But before we do let you go, I want to know what's coming up for SV Built. What's next? What are some of the goals that you're chasing in the next few years? What excites you most about the future? What's going on for SV Built coming up?
Yeah, we got some exciting projects. We've got a passive house just coming out of design now, so we'll start that shortly, which will be pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think just always improving, finding new ways, just learning there's some cool materials, seeing what the rest of the world is doing. I'm going to Japan in a couple of months to sort of have a look around there with the future builders, which would be cool to see.
Actually, just quickly, I want to give you a quick little shout out on this because I've noticed in the short time that we've known each other as well, there was late last year as well, there was the Sustainable Builders Alliance had their Rethink Building Expo. Like there's little things like that it's in a completely different state. I've noticed, mate, you're very, very into continually educating yourself and going and spending your own time and resources on continuing developing yourself as well. So
yeah, and I don't know if that's in the last few years more of this has been available to everyone, or just my mind shift on like, all right, let's learn as much as we can again. But yeah, the last couple of years I've been flat out sort of just trying to learn as much as I can. Yeah, I mean, doing Zara's Healthy Home course at the moment is just opening my eyes to a lot of different products and their pros and cons. It's also a confusing space as well. Like you throw passive house, healthy home, sustainable, and our standard building code into the mix. There's a lot of contradictions.
Yep.
And it's going to take, there's no right way of doing anything is what I've sort of learned. It's just assess it case by case, job by job. What's the best product? What's the best procedure? What's the thermal implications and all that sort of stuff, which is great. I'm loving it.
Yep.
And I'd like to push that level more and more.
Yep. Trying to combine all of that, what you've just said that you've learned, you're still learning the very early days of business. If there's one thing you could go back and tell an earlier days Emile, what would you say? Don't do it.
Nah, I was pretty good at learning. Like that was always my mindset. I suppose I've always been a quiet, shy person, so I didn't build many relationships. And it's when you open up to a lot of people in the industry like yourselves and a lot of people I've met over the last few years, is you're like, there is a wealth of knowledge from people. And like you just combine everyone's experience and everyone's gone through the process of learning how to building successful business, the rights and the wrongs, the mistakes. And I think if that wealth of knowledge was available to you earlier days, who knows how it could have.
Who knows where you'd been now? You might be retired already.
Yeah, but no, it is exciting. Like the scary part is how quick it's moving, but the exciting part is how much there is to learn. And how much better we can be in the building industry and how much better the building industry needs to get.
All right, before we let you go, mate, I've got a few, I've called them rapid fire questions, but they're probably not so rapid fire. This is an interesting segment, and I say this on every podcast as well when we bring this up. Don't get fixated on your answers. They end up most of the time being the longest answers for any question throughout the whole episode. But anyway, we'll see how you go.
Three-word answers?
3. Sure, keep them as short as you can. This first one, you're not going to be able. Well, you might be able to. Favorite type of project to build?
The most challenging to date. I don't know. I'm hoping a passive house is going to become my new favorite build.
Okay. Yep.
I love a great old character home, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
If we can take the time to really do it properly, yeah, I love sort of rebuilding old with new technology, but keeping it old, if you know what I mean.
Yep, for sure. Biggest lesson the industry's taught you?
You do have to stay positive.
Yeah.
Because, you will get knocked down a lot.
Yep. Best piece of business advice you've ever received?
I don't know if there's one good single piece of advice, but my dad did give me a lot of solid sort of, those one-liners in business that he'd learned from being in business for so many years.
Yep.
That were probably the most valuable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't pinpoint one.
Nah, that's fine. That's okay. It was a pretty big question, actually. With all the pressure of it, is there anything that you do outside of building to switch off, or any little things that help you recenter and resettle?
Yeah. Obviously, like we went mountain biking the other day. I love just getting out in the outdoors. I've got 2 girls that love camping, which has been great because we love camping. So they love the beach. We live by the beach, so our lives have centered around the beach for the whole time. So camping, switching off, hanging out with mates, mountain biking, surfing.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much as I'd like. But if that can't all happen, I don't know. I actually see like if I can switch off from work, I can then concentrate on learning something, watching a podcast. I find a lot of value in that.
Yep.
I can't stand watching TV or anything. So
do you want to share about your learnings in the sauna?
Yeah, well, we were chatting about that the other day. I'm doing the Healthy Home course at the moment, and time is very limited when you're running a business. You have a family. My wife also works full time. You don't have much time of peace and quiet. I've got a sauna at home, so I have a sauna probably 2 or 3 times a week. And I found myself going through the Healthy Homes course in the sauna because I could commit all my attention to it. It was just my time, and it's worked out well. I'm cruising through the course and learning heaps, and it's just hard writing notes when you got sweaty hands. And it's an odd place to study, I suppose.
Yeah, dedication, mate. I love it. All right, well, let's bring us to the end, mate. Lastly, anyone that wants to follow along the SV Built journey, or maybe reach out to you, where can people find you? How do they get in touch?
Yeah, website, Instagram, Facebook. We're not as up to date as what we should be with all that. But we've got a new website in construction at the moment, so hopefully that'll come live over the next couple of months.
Just svbuilt.com.au?
svbuilt.com.au. Yep. I think it's svbuilt construct for our Instagram.
We'll put a link in the show notes so that people might be able to follow it.
And you'll find your way to my phone number or my email. And
Yep. Or just probably Google SV Build. I'm sure you'll find it straight away.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, mate. Appreciate you coming in, and no doubt people have got some incredible insights out of that and things that they can learn from as well. So thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Luke.
Done.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to the website buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you'll find links to previous podcast episodes, as well as our YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.
Well, that's a wrap for another week's episode of the Build Insight podcast. Before we leave, just want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors for their ongoing support. Without their help, Build Insight wouldn't be what it is today.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience, and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.